Anyway, Guild Wars 2, guys.
Shooting.
Guild Wars 2. And what are we... What's
the game?
Dude? Holy shit, man. What the fuck? Guys, stop talking about balance while I try to stop this.
Sam, why don't you start us off on a subject?
Well, start you off on a subject. Oh my god, that's actually quite hard, you know. So, actually, I have a subject to start. We wanted to talk about balance, and I have some dead horses that need some more beating. And like a few days ago, I was meeting up with some French Guild Wars 2 players. It was a great evening. And the wonderful Goku was here, and he did say that Spellbreaker was totally fine, which I do not agree with. And my first subject of discussion with you guys would be, how would you nerf the counterattack?
Full counter, you mean?
Deroir has the perfect solution to this. Very, very good solution. We've actually brought it up before. Just lay it down. Go.
Perfect solution. Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call it a perfect solution. I suggested like a couple of weeks ago that the way that I would fix it, at least for PvP scenarios, was that I would take the what's it called? The target. Right now it's just an AoE. When you hit the full counter, are we hosting another? We're back to Jack Leaves now. What was that?
No, just continue. It's a bug. It's a bug with Twitch right now. It's a bug. It's not actually doing that. It's a bug. It's a bug. It's a bug.
All right. Anyways, going back to, I suggested that we took the full counter target cap, and put it down to 1, and then made it the target specific, so that the one that actually countered the full counter would get hit by full counter, instead of punishing all the other players around. Because and that idea basically came from me being in like team fights with spellbreakers, and regardless of whether you know how to fight a spellbreaker or not, you can have a necromancer off on the side with a scepter, auto attacking and proccing that full counter on everyone in melee, punishing all the teammates instead of himself. And so I'd much rather have it be targeted, even if it's ranged or not, but make it targeted.
You would have it be ranged, because like the
I wouldn't mind
area is already pretty big.
A certain range.
Okay.
Yeah, but not a that's the thing. Like, don't make it an AoE effect that punishes everyone, regardless of how well they manage it. Make it so that it punishes the actual player that procs full counter. That was my suggestion. The rest of Spellbreaker, I gotta agree with. I don't necessarily know where Goku was arguing from in saying that Spellbreaker was all right, but I actually gotta say I'm pretty all right with Spellbreaker. It's just that it has a few bullet points where it really should be called down to adjust for that. But yeah, I don't know the argument. Do you want to elaborate?
I just wanted something to get us started, and so we are. Now the ball is on your camp, Deroir.
Oh wow!
You get us in a subject.
No. I think people also are a little bit they don't like how really sustaining it is with regards to resistance, right? They don't like the fact that it's just walking around with permanent resistance all the time. With regards to spell. I mean,
it has also access to a lot of damage mitigation. Like while you're using the full counter, obviously people are going to try not to attack you. You have I just got the Jackleaf bug. This weirded me out. You also have the shield block, you have the passive end your pain, you have the active end your pain, you have just so much access to damage mitigation, which is both like resistance for the counter damage and anything that either blocks or invulns for the physical damage. That's my issue with it, more than the full counter being a pain in the ass if someone triggers it in melee. It's just the fact that you just walk around, full passive gameplay, and win.
Yeah,
you literally have to wait for it.
I think that kind of
with 3 people like dunking on you, you're fine. Like, I'm gonna pop my shield block. Oh, I got my engine pain. Oh shit, my trophy. Another engine pain. No effort.
But the thing is, like, that's not so much on Spellbreaker in itself. Like all the survivability on the counters and stuff. That's base warrior right there, mate.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get a lot from it, but the full counter just adds to that.
It's true. True.
It just compounds.
And so, like,
it.
if we take that away from it, like the base things that Warrior already have, because I mean those can be argued on themselves, on their own terms, so to speak. Like Spellbreaker still looks pretty alright in itself. It's except for the amazingness of full counter, in my opinion, that is. So I see where the argument is coming from, that it doesn't have that many outstanding, like that Spellbreaker itself doesn't have that many outstanding extremities, but Warrior mixed with Spellbreaker, it just has some crazy synergies.
Definitely.
That could take some yeah.
But like, I mean, then would you tone down base Warrior? Because I remember that at one point on the Guild Wars 2 forums, it was a very hot PvP topic to have the gameplay change from being extremely passive on the procs to being more active. Like I remember particularly a topic where people were discussing the PD Thief with Sigil of Air and Fire. They were like, this is like extremely passive gameplay. No, actually it wasn't PD, it was Soul Dagger. And they said the Soul Dagger Thief in itself hits like a wet noodle, and what really makes most of the damage is the Air and Fire Sigil procs. And a lot of people agreed on the fact that the reason why PvP in Guild Wars 2 was getting rather annoying for people trying to, play it at a higher level than just, oh my god, press all the buttons, kill stuff. They were like, the fact that you can just hit a bit and let either the sigils do it or your traits carry you is wrong. It needs to be active gameplay. And on one hand, using full counter makes the game a bit more active. Like you're going to want to proc it when you see someone using like a relatively high wind up skill, because they're just going to hit you because they're not going to cancel it once the animation has launched. And I think that's better on one hand, and what really needs to be toned down is the passive stuff. So the passive survivability of Warrior should be.
Yeah, I think that would go for kind of everything across the board, really, not just Warrior. There's not just a Warrior.
Yeah, not just Warrior. Like
there's a whole bunch of stuff across the game. The design of the game.
Pretty much everything that's passive proc is like inherently,
especially when it makes you invulnerable.
Yes.
I mean, that goes for Signet of Stone as well. The passive proc as well. Like
definitely. No, that's completely balanced because your Ranger is.
No, it's not.
It's fine on Ranger.
Like, get him out.
I'm already. They're like the challenge kid and shit. Like, you gotta help them.
The challenge kid. The Ranger needs a bit of health. He's having his handheld a bit. Is that?
But the problem is then, like, when you have the non-challenge kits that's still using it, and like you just can't touch those people. That's kind of the thing because of it.
Yeah, I concur. That's why it needs to be, in general, toned down. I mean, either with a split, as said by Tay Lems in your chat, either with a split, that's never going to happen, or just by, toning down, all in all, the passive stuff.
Yeah.
Wait,
rather than sleep, man.
Endure Pain still lets you cap the point?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently.
It's not a proper,
does that work for... yeah, true. Does that work for
only Mist Form and Obsidian Flesh don't, I believe.
Well, and stuff like Renewed as well. Renewed Focus. Anything that gives you a complete
focus.
Distort probably denies it as well, I think. Yeah.
Elixir... Is it Elixir S?
Elixir S.
I believe cap. I'm not too sure.
Well, you're not immune to Condi while you're all tiny. You've got Condies and you'll still die to Condies. So.
That's what you have before Steel Tick. Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you still take damage. You're not invulnerable. You just can't get hit by anything.
Yeah, but then again, that's the same for the other. Like, if you're in Mist Form, it ticks. If you're using Obsidian Flesh, it ticks. If you're using Renewed Focus, it ticks.
Being tiny, you're too small to cap the point. There you go.
And that's my life,
Yeah.
Role play as a Perma Elixir S engineer. I have all the passive for that shit as well. That's my business there.
You have all the passive procs on that. When you go below 25% health, you go even smaller. You just get the passive elixir. I have tried
being under 25% health IRL, but I will notify you if it does happen.
Yeah.
I'll send you a picture.
I think though, like regardless of how they're gonna fix I don't think that they're necessarily going to change full counter entirely to my ideal situation where it's targeted. I think more or less they're just going to give it a longer cooldown, which to a certain degree I can get behind, because it's like, what, 7-second cooldown for full counter? Yeah. Something like that. 7-8, it just like explodes.
Yeah.
All the time.
It does have a very low cooldown. It has a very low cooldown. When it's traded, it's around 6, yeah. When it's like, it's like, it's even funnier.
Like, why wouldn't you?
Well, exactly, yeah. I mean, of course you trade it, yeah. Oh, you obviously do.
Of course. Yeah. Like, it's always on 6.
So, yeah, they're definitely going to increase the cooldown, just for sure. I mean, that's one of their go-to ways of nerfing things, or just increase the cooldown. They'll slowly increase the cooldown of various abilities until no one plays them anymore, right? That's how it goes.
I mean, that's usually how it goes. The other stuff that makes it kind of retarded is the number of effects that you have to hit. So, while you're using it, you're blocking until it's triggered. Once you use it, you deal damage in an AoE, you stun in an AoE. I believe you put your conditions on people in an AoE.
5
condies. You steal boons, don't you, in an AoE? Or you remove boons?
The days removes a boon, right?
There you go.
Or something like that. Yeah.
So much. That's so much for one.
It's like Thief Steal, man. It's like Thief Steal every 6 seconds.
It's a Swiss
and in an AoE.
In an AoE?
Yeah, so it's even worse than that, man. It's like...
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the only like obvious counter to a Spellbreaker is a Minion Master Necromancer, because there are so many targets. Obviously, you're going to end up being fine, right?
So it hits the minions instead of the players. That makes sense.
That's just going to proc it. Doesn't the minions will proc it all the time?
It doesn't work.
All the time. You're just going to cock your stuff.
But no, because they will take the hits. It's fine.
Then they don't do anything. Then the minions die.
No, they can take a hit or two. It's fine.
Okay, but okay. They'll die after 6 seconds with the first full counter, though.
I don't know, Sam. I'm not sure about this minion monster strat.
Shit, I was trying to put Nemesis back on the spotlight, and I failed miserably, so I'm just going to stop there.
I don't want to.
I was watching his. But I was on vacation.
You're watching that. I mean, honestly, we've done that, man. We've done every raid boss except for Matthias and Demos with 10 necros.
Please stop.
Let's talk about
Just don't do that.
Actually, I'm not doing this discussion again. We're not doing the viability discussion again. But yeah, I'm just going to say, guys, 10 necros versus all bosses. It wasn't even that hard, actually. It wasn't even that hard. We had 2 heal necros as well, guys. Okay, you can play heal necro now. That's the thing.
Just stop already.
We had a minstrel scourge with the big shade spamming barrier on us. It was good. And heal transfusion, man.
My God!
And then we had then we had a cleric. The reason I bring up Nemesis is because Marty was actually playing Nemesis's Wraith Burst build the entire time. Actually, the Axe and Shroud build.
God, Burst.
Yeah, the Wraith. The Wraith.
How's the Burst
build? Why did I agree to this TeaTime again?
It was on. Wait, I believe he was on around 3k DPS. Or something like that.
God, but how could it be 3k DPS if Nemesis theory crafted it much higher?
I don't know, Marty was trolling or something, dude. We had no quickness or anything, or any boons. Like,
But he didn't either, because quickness is an exploit. Quickness and ice boom, 85.
No, he says he was 5k DPS. He was 5k DPS. Okay.
You can also attack.
Give me logs. I need those logs.
We can get the logs, and we also did legit strats. Yeah, on green, instead of going to the green or distorting them, we barriered through it and took less damage because of the barrier. How do you feel about that? Boom.
Nice.
And you know what the best part was? It actually worked. You pretty much mitigate a good chunk of the green damage. You don't even take that much damage. And then the Minstrel Necros just healed us right up.
Okay.
Sounds solid.
Yeah.
I mean,
so that's gonna be the Monday clear strat, eh?
You wanna know something? You wanna know something bad, Deroir and Sam? You wanna know something horrifying? On Veil Guardian. On Veil Guardian, we were 10k DPS ahead of the average group, according to Guild Wars 2 Radar.
No way.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Well, apparently.
Yes. And on Zera, we were also about 10k ahead. But everywhere else, we were pretty much lower. On Gorstville, we were about 7k lower, I think. because it wasn't good on Gorsel, man. We had to like never break it because we couldn't do any damage. But yeah, mostly we were very close to average DPS or higher.
I don't
Nice.
that just goes to show.
That's actually really interesting to know. Like the comparison of like how well other people are doing.
Speaking about Guild Wars 2 radar, I'm going to bring up a very controversial topic about it. I think a lot of people are going to...
Wait. Before you do that, can I just... Speaking of Nemesis, because then we can move on from Nemesis. But like, speaking of Nemesis, did you guys watch the what was it? The Guild Wars 2 stream where the devs were streaming and stuff?
Yes.
No.
Oh, we need to talk about this.
Did you see the... what's it called? Some of the devs got their hair cut. Oh my god, why am I forgetting his name? Nightmare, the dude, the fucking what is his name?
Nightmare?
The
The PvP guy.
Yeah, the former PvP guy. What? Jesus, why is the name escaping me right now? Anyways, you all know who I'm talking about. Him without the glasses, getting shaved, it was like Nemesis 2.0. Not even joking. Not even joking. Wait, I gotta wait. There it is.
So while you're looking for your picture, can I move on to the second point?
Yes, go ahead.
This is a very controversial idea, but I would like, for extreme fairness of the averages, that we separate EU and NA because they're making the average worse.
Huge.
And I want
fucking huge. Sorry.
Like, no. That's a valid concern.
Wait, can you say that again?
He wants to separate EU and NA because NA is too movie, I guess.
Of yours to radar, because their averages are worse. They're bringing the average down. It's bad.
Wow, shots fired.
It's it. Like, it makes sense. Like, I don't know if you've pogged on both sides.
How would your ego feel if you actually split it and it showed that NA was doing better?
What if NA was better? Yeah.
I guess I can transfer that.
Well, I've pugged on NA and it's not that bad. It's not. I honestly don't think it's even particularly worse. They just do. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you why you perceive it as worse. Because NA pugs do really bad strats, like deliberately bad strats for some weird reason.
No, it's not that. You don't deliberately do something bad.
Well,
are you sure?
I mean, sure.
Unless
if that's the norm,
answers, then yes, that's deliberate. But
then again, I don't really pug a lot on EU, so I can't really. I have pugged a little bit, but
assuming that salt is.
They do pleb strats here as well. You know, like, I don't think it's actually that. I don't think it's that different. I think it's surprisingly not different between EU and NA. Really, I think if you split them out, I think you'd be surprised at how little it would change. Like, maybe EU would be a little bit higher, but I don't think it would be much higher, man. I don't think it'll be much higher at all. I think you'd be surprised.
Fair enough.
But do you have any evidence, man? What have you got with? Why do you think the EU is way better than NA on average with pugs?
And it's just all of my pug experience on NA has been a garbage. I don't even. Yeah, like I'll say that 8 runs out of 10 ended poorly with people leaving and the squad disbanding. Wow. Meanwhile, on EU, you know, you may fail like 2-3 times, but you get the kill after. On NA, sometimes didn't. Like, people would unabashedly keep doing the same thing and failing all the same and not trying to, you know, fix the issue.
That's certainly interesting. Like, EU pugs distort Veil Guardian Greens, NA pugs don't? Well, I don't know. Yeah. I actually pugged VG in EU just the other day, and they didn't distort greens, and they actually eventually kicked me, but because...
What? Well, you didn't distort the green, is that what you're saying?
No. This is actually a really weird story. So, it basically boils down to the fact that I said, I'm eating this. I pinged some 250 stacks of luck, of exotic luck, to say, yes, look, luck. This is our luck to get the kill. And I said, I'm eating the luck now. And then they kicked me because they thought I was going to eat in real life, even though I was moving around, like jiggling around, ready to go, you know? And then the guy just whispered me and said, yeah, I thought you had to eat, with like a smiley face on the end. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. And we were trying to carry them, man. We were trying to help them distort, but it just didn't. It got deleted, man. Hey, what's this picture?
Fair enough.
What?
Yeah, that picture is like I've seen things, but I hadn't seen that. I'm not sure
Wait.
Well, that
we're
actually
talking
did,
about the
like-
Nemesis
Yeah,
2.0.
like
right?
that's
Nemesis.
Nemesis.
Nemesis, actually,
Yeah,
dude, like,
Nemesis.
he's back. He's
That's
actually
Nemesis,
back.
right.
Reincarnated, it's
Yeah,
true.
he's back. What the fuck? Oh, look at this Veil Guardian log, man. Whoa, 10 scourges, dude.
My God.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about? There's a base necro as
Yo,
well.
wait, does someone have the
And
clip?
Reaper.
Does someone have the clip for the split phase, guys? Can someone link the clip? Because yo, Sam, you have not seen Veil Guardian split phase with 10 epidemics, man.
But do I want to?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Apparently you do.
Then I do. Then I do. Fair,
10
fair.
epidemics.
Did it go fast?
Yes.
All right,
I think
wanna see this.
I think some of them died in about 4 ticks or something like that. They died pretty
Nice.
fast. It didn't last long, man.
You didn't last long.
Yeah. No.
That's what she said.
Wow.
What?
I was
Wait,
about
what?
to make the jokes, but
Oh.
yeah. You
It's a good thing we've got a very mature panel tea time here. Yeah, Marty.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
right.
Marty was on base necro. See, this is a very everyone's welcome.
Yes.
Look, we've got 8 scourges, 1 base necro. And
Wait,
then
was it
1
intended to be
Reaper.
base necro, or was it just like he hadn't unlocked any of
Oh
the
no!
elite,
He
like-
was the Wraith burst build, which is a base necro build.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
then again, he doesn't have HOT.
And look at this shit. Look, he did. Okay, look at this. Look at this log, man. Like here we have Patho and Nikki both on heal necro doing 1k DPS, and you have Marty on the Wraith bursting build on 3k DPS, and then you have me on glorious Condi Scourge at 12k, 11.7k DPS, man. I'm working
That's a
for
nice split
Martys,
face.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, let me watch that clip.
I just saw that.
Look at
Yeah.
this shit. It's great. Where did they go?
Ow.
Yeah. Look at
The
it,
only
man.
thing that's super slow there is the CC, but everything else is on point.
Yeah. I mean,
I love that.
yeah. Woo. There you go. Oh my god, look at him get deleted, man. We need to go on that. We're too busy laughing to press any of our abilities, so that's the problem, you know? Yeah. But anyway, let's see. What should we talk about with regards to the balance? Also, yeah, guys, what kind of balance changes do we need for PvE? In your opinion, actually, let's open this up with a question. In you guys' opinions, how is the state of PvE balance right now in Path of Fire?
It's fun.
Boom. How is it?
I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun.
I'm actually having a blast. I'm having fun every week. It's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. I would definitely tend to agree with that. I think there are a few, kind of errant numbers, I suppose, but I think it's nowhere near as bad as the Golem tends to make it out. I think in an actual raid it evens out
actual
quite a lot.
raid completely
Yeah.
even out. Yeah.
You do well. I mean, yeah, on a lot of bosses you will see some crazy ass high Weaver numbers, like KC, right? But it doesn't feel.
It was the same
doesn't feel
before.
yeah, exactly with Tempest, right? I don't think it's as bad as
It's not the
looks.
same though. I mean, Weaver is significantly higher.
Yeah,
Weaver is pretty big dick. Weaver does some serious fat
Yeah.
damage, and yeah, I think it'll probably get toned down a bit. But the thing is, they're gonna tone it down probably too much, and then all the Weaver flares are gonna be really sad. And then
I mean, we say that, but have they ever really done that to Elise? I mean,
Yes.
have they ever really been
Consistently.
dethroned?
Have they ever been dethroned?
They
That's
haven't.
kind of the thing. Regardless of however big a hit they've taken, they've still managed to switch up the rotation and then still come out top.
They're not really
I mean-
on the throne now, though, are they? Not that much,
They kind of are though, aren't they?
I guess.
I'd definitely say that they are.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether we have a much bigger spread of viability, in terms of deep high DPS, there's a lot more to pick and choose from to meet the old required numbers, and even higher than that. Weaver still goes big dick way out of the league there. I mean,
Well-
if you are to just stack those, it gets out of hand regardless.
Isn't that just a bit of a design problem with Ellie though? Because all the damage is so bursty, and the bosses have not that much HP that it's just gonna get wrecked. I mean, it's so fast. The burst DPS is so favorable. So the way Ellie works is so favorable in PvE content, pretty much everywhere, right? Which is why it's difficult to dethrone it.
But it's only the king on big hit boxes, and in my opinion, that's fine. That's all right. You're always gonna have one class or spec that's going to do much better in a specific circumstance. Like Weaver is definitely the best on a big hitbox where burst matters. But is it the best somewhere else? No. Like if you play in Fractals, you're most of the time going to see Dragon Hunters pulling much higher burst when it comes to clearing trash, or you're going to see similar numbers between the two when it gets to like normal size hitbox or small hitboxes. Like that's all right.
Yeah,
that's fine, and that's exactly what I like in the POF balance, is that you need to have a specific set of circumstances for one spec or class to truly shine. So it's completely fine, in my opinion, for it to be that way.
I mean, Nike makes a fine point here, which I was gonna regurgitate here. It's fine to have mechanics like that. It's fine to have Ellie's Weavers in general be much more powerful. The problem kind of arises when it's, as Nike points out, 50% better than everything else. Like the leap is just humongous when it comes to like best for that specific thing. And like hitboxes, as I've seen, even Nike suggest, shouldn't really be a thing. Like it shouldn't really make that big of a difference, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm completely in that boat. It's an outdated, weird mechanic that I don't really believe that they ever really intended to go in from the very start. That just escalated and has gotten to this point.
Is it really 50%? 50% higher?
It's pretty significant, man. On a big hitbox, it's pretty goddamn significant, man.
It's relatively okay. Yeah, okay. If he takes diamonds, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Fair,
but I think that's it's a fair comment to make, but I definitely wouldn't go and delete hitboxes, right? I think it's cool that different fights can favor the abilities of different classes. I mean, this is the design philosophy that I would always go for with regards to raids, is that the encounter mechanics, or something about the encounters, to change the effectiveness of the class. You can kind of balance around that. There's a bit of balancing there as well. But no, should it be as significant as it is? Yeah, I think that's definitely... I think maybe it's a little bit excessive. It's a little bit excessive.
I'll never argue that. Like the thing is, like Weaver, Tempest, Elementalist in general, they're designed to be glass cannon. That's their goal in life, right? They're supposed to not have any health. They're supposed to just get knocked about if they're hit, but they're supposed to pack a punch, and that's where they should be. I don't argue against that. They should be on the throne, but the huge gap, the huge leap between other classes can be very disheartening in many respects. And I think that the huge gap that we have right now, it's too big. It is. Weaver needs a little bit of a fine tuning.
But what would you change on Weaver? Because there is a huge RNG factor
Weaver,
in it as well. Like the RNG on Meteor Shower, though. Like, come on. There is, if they're gonna tune it down, we have to hope that there is gonna be less RNG from one parse to the next.
But that's kind of how it works, though. I mean, getting the highest benchmarks on Weaver is a grind fest.
Yeah.
Grind that Meteor Shower out, man.
Yeah.
Which is why I did not play Weaver, because
but people don't really do that. And our good people at the Benchmark Inc. They don't grind RNG really hard. They'll do like 5. They'll do 10 or so. They'll get it.
No. Best benchmarks are done within 8 tries. Have you tried the forums?
Yeah. No, I do.
8 tries and you take the best of 8.
I'm not getting into that.
I'm not going on the fucking forums. But no, I don't think when the benchmarks get up there, they don't go crazy. I mean, maybe they'll do a little bit of cheeky grinding. They want to get a nice number, but they don't go crazy, right? They could grind a lot more to get even better numbers with their meteors, right? But yeah, I think you get a reasonable estimate of how the RNG factor would go in the benchmarks instead of people going crazy. Yeah. Honestly, help on being beat DDoS Code 2 basically is kind of pointing out something that could actually legitimately happen. I think it would be shit and flavorless and boring and horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's such a big problem with Meteor Shower and Ice Bow. Is just those are pretty good abilities, and they scale really hard on big hitboxes, and they give you the crazy ass numbers that
Definitely.
You see in a very short space of time, because they're very, very bursty, and so that's why you have this really big variance. And honestly, I don't exactly know how to nerf that exactly. I mean, would you just make those skills worse, but then you kind of buff up the? Do you make the big hitbox skills worse and then make the small hitbox skills a little bit better to kind of tone it up? So you could like make Lava Font a little bit better, but then make Meteor Shower and Ice Bow worse. Is that how you kind of rebalance the power so it doesn't get blown up as massively as it does on a big hitbox?
Please hold cooldown on Lava Font.
I mean, maybe that could be the solution, right? That could
make up for it.
That could be maybe the solution. You put the cooldown
tone
back.
down, yeah. Put the cooldown back on Lava Font, tone down the rest a bit. That'd be fine. Yeah. Make Meteor Shower into shoot. Oh my god, no! Mikey!
No, that is just that's fucking boring, man. No one wants that.
Come on, what would you do? Oh, I placed it down. I'm gonna wait now.
Imagine
it's gonna pull, so I'm all right.
Just imagine the salt. If they did that, imagine the salt. If they did that to Meteor, dude.
Oh, dude, it would be completely unfun. Yeah. I mean, the stuff about the Weaver rotation is that it is actually fun. Like, it is a bit more effort than the other rotations, comparatively, of course. And it's fun to do, and it's rewarding, because if you do it right, you get the big numbers. If you time your burst right, you get even better damage. And if you make everything into pulsing AoEs, it becomes boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? I placed it down. I'm going to wait now. It's off cooldown. Okay, I place it again. Just make sure the boss doesn't move out of it. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Make it one big meteor. Whoa! Now that would be amazing. You summon a giant meteor and it does all the meteors in one go. It's like a 200k crit or something. Yeah, dude.
We even already have the. How is that called? We even have the model for this. We have the meteor glider. It's fine. Just let it rain down some meteor gliders at the target. Okay, fine.
That would be amazing. As a really long caster on it, like a 3-second cast, and you wave at the sky, and then a giant meteor smashes into the boss.
Dude, fuck man.
All right, let's do that.
That's a bad one.
Yeah, put that in World Verse as well, and it knocks down as well. It's a 5-second knockdown because you get hit by a massive meteor.
Oh no, fuck no. Just imagine doing that in PvP though, because we're talking about PvP balance earlier. Like, you're just gonna wait for everyone to be
just one-shot them.
You're like 1.2k range away, you're like, oh, and you just wait out for it. Watch everyone take the 200k hit, and you're like, nice game, boys.
I love how fast that just went completely.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Skywards.
We're on a giant meteor, dude. Let's do that.
Fuck no, fuck no.
No,
we're not
going to do that.
Like, I'll ask for a refund on my Path of Fire if that happens. No, actually, I won't. I would, just for the sake of protesting.
All right, now that we're talking about weird subjects, anyways, I have a thing that I've been kind of toying with, or a scenario that I've kind of been toying with for the past couple of days.
Okay.
Because I was streaming the other day, and I was talking about necros, or somebody asked about necros and the whole damage nerf or the damage fix that they had recently, and we started talking about what kind of raid scenario, like boss scenario, would actually make a Reaper or a Scourge DPS favorable. And I kind of suggested that, like, you'd need, and this was just me spitballing at the time, like, without any preparation, but I suggested that you'd kind of need a boss encounter where every time you hit, you would also take damage, which would kind of completely unfavor every other DPS in the class except for the ones that could lifesteal and survive stuff like that.
Or maybe
and now the question is, what do you guys think would actually make a boss encounter favor towards Scourge or Necro gameplay in general?
Well,
I'm gonna hazard it. Can I, Teapot? Can I go first?
You go ahead, my friend.
Thanks. So I'm gonna hazard a guess for that. I would say an encounter where you have some specifically designated arena, for example, pylons of some sort, and when the boss stays near the pylon. He gets boons at regular intervals, but super fast and a random one. And they last, let's say, 10 to 15 seconds. So that if you don't remove the boons for over 10 seconds, he has a set of each of all the boons. You know what I mean by that. And obviously, it would be like 25 might, like not just one stack of might, because that's not fun. And then you would actually it would have fast burst phases, and you would actually need the Necromancer to remove them. Like once it reaches the 10th one, just remove all of them or convert all to conditions. And then it would be favorable, but only for a specific skill. And if you don't bring an Necro, you'd have to kite or tank it outside of it, but it would run back to it periodically or something to force you to actually have to remove the boons on top of the pylon if you want to kill it fast, I guess. Of course, you could say that Phantasmal Enchanter or auto attack on a Mesmer, but it would have to be tuned so that it would be much better to just corrupt it for it to be much faster. Like taking more damage from conditions, for example, would be the way to equilibrate this. I don't know.
It's an interesting idea. I'm not sure if I'm completely sold on it. It's an interesting idea, but the thing is, like, boon corrupts and boon strips and everything is not necessarily exclusive to Scourge. Granted, they do have a lot of it, but
that's solid.
There's actually like not to diminish your thought process here, but Nike actually put up a suggestion here. Have 2 legendary bosses at the same time. Yeah. Where Epidemic would bounce. Now that is actually testable right now in the game. 2 legendary bosses at the end of the Serpent event in the Domain of Babi.
The thing is, I mean, I actually
somebody
think
set that up.
That would favor Necro so hard that would you even play anything else? I mean, FP bounce is insane, dude. Though. It's crazy. I mean, you even see on stuff like Sabbather, you can see Necros pulling crazy numbers with the constant epi bouncing. But if I think it would be very, very favorable. Unless you could stack the bosses up, then you can just go back to playing your power classes and cleaving them down, right? But even then, right, like Scourge is so good at cleaving things. Scourge, anything that's got more than 1 target, Necro is king, boys. That's how it works. Yeah.
Can we please set that up somehow? Can somebody please set that
up? The snake boss?
I want to see the serpent and the dragon get molested by a squad of Necros.
That's a clip, by the way, Deroir. I want you to know that, man. That's a clip. You want to see the? You want to see some?
Can we cut that out? Can we cut the word out?
We can't cut that out, man.
I want to see that though. I want to see. You should consider that TeaPot for a stream.
I'll tell you what, maybe we can do that. Maybe we can. Oh, it's already been done apparently. Wow.
Seriously?
Wait, what?
Tom says it's already been done by a billion Necros or something. 40-man Necro Serpent.
Is there a video of this?
We got destroyed.
But someone did say something good. Quaderat Demonstrandum said Ranena and Vassar mechanic with 1.2k range. That's also a good idea.
Yeah.
That's also something that would be a pain in the ass. But for Necromancer to make sense, either 2 legendary bosses or you have to make it a pain in the ass for them to be relevant. Isn't that sad?
Actually, because kind of dude, Necromancer is the comfy cushion, okay, for the sore ass, okay? That's what Necromancer is, okay? At the end of the day, that's what that class is, man.
I need to be told.
You're struggling? You're having a little bit of trouble with a boss? Boom. Bring in the Necros, then it's easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're struggling with, I don't know, let's see, Zera ads. No problem. Bring in a Necro. Start epidemicing everything. Merciful Overseer. Too stupid to do basic mechanics? Boom. Bring a Necromancer. Suddenly Merciful Overseer. Not a problem anymore. Are you terrible at the game? Can't do Demos properly? Bring in a Necromancer and start epidemicing everything. Boom. That's how you do it. That's what Necro is.
Yeah, it's fail-proof. No, actually, that's right. That's right. I
think we actually need to have. What are we going to do about Epidemic, guys? Because honestly, I think Epidemic is actually, as much as I love that skill, the best skill in the game, the only good skill in the game. Is it too good? Is it too good, guys? Because let's think about this. It is limiting the design space of Necro by being the most devastating ability in the game, pretty much, to anything with more than 1 target, you know? Is that a problem? I think it is a bit of a problem, man. But I'm not sure how I would nerf it though. That's the thing. I don't want to reduce it. I don't want to reduce it to like half the amount of condies. That's just sad. But I don't really see any other way out of it. Don't look in the role-playing channel, Sam. Don't look in there. Don't look in there.
No, like
Kevin,
don't do it, Sam. Don't. They've just started. They just post furry stuff in there, man. Don't do that shit. Come on, just don't do it.
Oh my god!
Dude, I told you. I told you not to do that shit.
Not to do it.
I warned you, man, not to go in the role-playing Discord, man. They're just posting furry stuff in there.
Yeah, but you're a memer. Like I assumed it wouldn't be that bad. Oh lord, I'm gonna need to put bleach in my eyes. Whoa.
You're still looking at it, aren't you?
No, I stopped. I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at it's Kevin who told me to go watch. What the fuck's wrong with him? How can you like that?
It's Kevin. What did you expect?
I don't know.
No, Epi should not transfer one of every condi. No, fuck you guys. We're not doing that. That's not good. That's not good at all, okay? I don't know.
What if it just became like no,
do it.
I'm not even gonna go there. That was a dumb suggestion even before I said it.
Wow.
I'm not gonna go on record.
Just say it. Just say it.
Well, my idea was that what if it was just a set amount of set amount and a specific amount of a specific condi or a specific set of condis instead of actually stacking up with whatever you have on the boss. But that kind of defeats the purpose of Epidemic in general.
I mean, a hilarious RNG element would be like it copies 3 random condis or something. But no, please no, ArenaNet. That's not a suggestion. In fact, that's a suggestion of what you should never do. Don't put RNG on it, please. No RNG, ArenaNet. Let's not do that.
No RNG, but we were just talking about the RNG of waivers.
Shower.
Yeah, and the positive effects of that.
Fine. Don't add any more then. No more RNG. Keep it as it is. Just leave it.
What's the picture? Is Rex Licks?
Wait, are you
fine?
looking at
actually that was fine.
furry shit, Sam?
No, I'm looking at your chat. No, I'm looking at your chat. Like Rex posted something and I was like, is it safe or not? Actually, it was safe.
Oh, it isn't. Let's just assume it's never safe.
It should pulse up to 3 stacks of every condi on the target for 5 seconds. That'd be kind of interesting, man, actually. A pulsing epidemic. Dude, what if it was it infects a target, those targets start pulsing, and it just continuously goes out. It's infinite. One epidemic is infinite until everything dies. Just like in real life, guys. Okay? You get the Black Death, and then suddenly all of Europe's dead. You know what I'm saying? Except it's Necro, and it's with mobs and Guild Wars 2. That would actually be kind of cool.
Is the links from Kevin safe?
Wait, what is this?
No, just assume it's not. Assume it's not.
Just
everyone
God!
Already.
Fuck.
Oh, no. You know what?
I think my hypothesis was confirmed.
Yeah, on the bright side of life, my internet is slow when I'm on Skype, and only the horn loaded, and I was like, ah! Nope.
And then you knew immediately.
Got him.
Epidemic lands. Yeah, it's plague lands, except it casts epidemic every single pulse. That seems balanced to me. Yeah. I think okay. Let's think about Necro for a bit. Like, is epidemic that much of an obstruction to buffing its DPS? I guess I would tend to say, not really, because even if Necro's DPS was a few thousand higher, I don't think that would make it broken. Any more than it already is. Okay, so under the assumption that Necro right now is mildly broken, thanks to Epidemic.
Mild.
Okay, mildly broken, which I would actually consider it to be mildly broken. Not in a you're gonna get fat records with it way or anything silly like that. You're not gonna get speed.
But the comfy cushion, yeah.
Yeah, but the utility of it, the power of the class itself, and actually having the barrier is not actually that horrible, right? You can actually kind of help people out a bit with the barrier as well. If you have that, and you're very survivable, I would consider it to be actually pretty goddamn busted for what it does in doing like casual raid clears, not for speedruns, guys, or anything like that. I'm not saying it's a rank 1 DPS class, but no, I don't think buffing it by a few thousand would really impact anything, really, I suppose. And that's probably what they're going to do, just add a little bit of the damage back into it. And then also I think Necro will be in a fine spot. People will still be bitching about it, obviously. Almost certainly. I'm expecting to see Reddit posts about stuff, and forum posts, or various other posts about, oh, Necro, we're at the bottom of the DPS table. We're exactly where we were, man. It's just, it never ends for us. But, yeah, it's fake news. They're fake news. They're complaining about something that they shouldn't even complain about, really. because they're fucking newbies. Yeah. Also, when are we getting Power Necro?
Never, please, never. For the love of God.
When are we getting Power Reaper, man? I would like to play Power Reaper.
That ship tried to sail Brazil forever in our minds, but no, just no.
I want Power Reaper. I want to play Power Greatsword Mega Reaper, dude.
Mega Reaper, did you just say
Reaper.
that?
Omega Reaper, dude.
I don't have much confidence in that. It would be fun. I mean, it'd actually make me
but why?
Slightly interested in Necro, but yeah.
Why do people fixate so much on that class? Like that's a valid question.
What, Necro?
I have. Yeah, like for example, nobody's talking about Engineer. It's like everyone forgot that the class existed.
Because Necromancer is a very it's a base trope for every MMO or a role-playing game in general, and there's a lot of players that just flock to it from the very beginning. There's a lot of players playing it. It's the same with Elementalist. It's the sorcerer type that people just kind of they choose to play because they like the idea of it or whatnot, and then you have this huge pool of players that feel like they're being neglected, despite maybe not being as neglected as they are. They're just a much bigger crowd of people than there are for engineers. Like
Engie is also good right now as well, and has been for a while.
Really good.
Yeah, Holosmith is good.
It's not that. Nah, it's not that great, to be fair. Like, you don't get the same numbers as others. You don't. You're a bit lower. Of course, it's higher than Necro, ever so slightly, but the amount of effort that goes into proper holosmithing or engineering is much higher than Necromancer. Like, I think that people should cry out more for a class that's this hard and yet this unrewarding.
Wait.
You mean like Kondi Engie?
Yeah, Kondi Engie. Holomancer is like not even good either, to be fair.
I played with
a few of them in squad, and they like struggle to get DPS that's still shy a few thousand of what you would get on a Soul Beast, not even to talk about a Weaver.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I definitely expect Holosmiths to get a few buffs. Maybe they'll figure out how to make it into a rare weapon or something, as opposed to
the effort to reward ratio is even lower than the Necromancer. That's my point. Okay, that's my point. Like Necromancer, you don't get much reward, but then again, you don't put in much effort from the start. And then you have like Engineer or Holosmith. You put more effort, and the reward is barely any higher. It's just not right. Like that ratio is not fine. And that's a ratio that's very well fulfilled on Weaver. Because you have effort, but you have a huge reward. So that's good. That's perfect. Which is why it feels good to play it at the moment.
I think, if I may throw something into the mix of the whole discussion about balance in general, I think there's a lot of factors that a lot of the discussions tend to just overlook when we're talking about balance for like any profession in general. And that's the other capabilities of the class. Yeah. Say elementalists and like engineers, for example. They have a huge array of actually useful skills to do basically anything in the game, right? When you were talking about necromancers, they have a huge pool of different skills that make them super survivable. And a lot of people tend to just focus on the DPS side. And I think I obviously cannot argue on behalf of ArenaNet, but I'm genuinely of the opinion that I think that they consider these factors when they're balancing it, when they're actually touching on things. They actually consider that there is this huge pool of unused potential that DPS hungry players just aren't really touching, but are still present. And so like to even introduce the idea of having Necros do highest DPS and be so super survivable is ridiculous. It genuinely is. If you look at it from a very objective standpoint, it can't do best of both worlds. Yeah, and so true. Like Holosmith, it should be. I personally find it to be in a very good spot. Holosmith is in a very good spot. It has a huge burst potential. That doesn't make it best in slot for everything, but it makes it really really good regardless. But it does still have a huge pool of other things, other super useful utilities that people just aren't really using because everyone just goes for that super high DPS. And I just kind of wanted to throw that into the mix of the discussion, because I feel like a lot of the benchmark discussions or whatever that I see really only focus on that benchmark without looking at the potential that other utilities carry with them from class to class.
But then
I don't think it's much of a survivability point. I mean, like, Scourge may have double the health of other stuff, but I mean, it has like a tiny bit of barrier, I guess. But still going to get wrecked under a lot of situations. It's not that much. I don't think it's that much of a factor, really. I wouldn't.
It's still in the. It's still categorized as the. You know how we have low, medium, and high health pools. It's still categorized in the high health pool.
It does indeed have a high health pool, but I mean, Vitality isn't going to save you from just getting one shot by everything, right? I mean, it will definitely give you a bit of longevity. It definitely has considerably more survivability, but I don't think that should be a massive factor in how the DPS works out.
No. It shouldn't necessarily be a massive factor, but I still think that it should be a factor because whether we want to admit it or not, raids isn't necessarily the only gameplay where, or the only game mode where play style and balance actually kind of matters. I mean, we still have open world. We still have a lot of other places in the game where the balance may be a little bit different, but we tend to only focus on raids and the highest potential of each class, whereas Guild Wars is a very diverse game with a lot of different game modes. And I kind of just feel like we shouldn't overlook all of the factors.
I think the most important factors, though, would be the class-specific utility that the things bring. I mean, again, like, we're going to kind of beating a dead horse here, but like the obvious choice here is to talk about Epi again, right? I mean, the reason Necro is even kind of okay is because Epidemic exists in the game and it just trivializes a whole bunch of stuff because only that class can do that, so it makes it an obvious pick in a lot of encounters, right?
Then would you say that the game should be organized completely with the idea of game modes always in mind, and that you would, let's say, have a main for each game mode as a player, that you should expect one class to be good at a game mode and not good at another? Because, I mean, if you start saying stuff like, yeah, but it has so much other utilities, that's where you are going to be going towards, because unless an encounter is drastically different from another in PvE, you're always going to want to have high burst, solid, like a lot of modifiers being stacked, and classes that have the possibility of dishing out a huge amount of damage on a good time frame without necessarily having drops in it. And on the other hand, in the other game modes, you're going to want to have classes that can, for example, hold a node for a long time in PvP, such as the Spellbreaker that we were talking earlier on, or Brazzle's infamous Revenant Herald build Ventari, where he just doesn't die. Yeah, the Ventari one, oh my god. Like, that's literally where you would end up going if you have that mindset of, but classes have better utility that make them shine more in specific game modes. You just separate them.
That's why you have elite specs. I mean, that isn't that exactly what we see now?
Yeah.
With regards to Spellbreaker, it has a very clear niche in World versus World and PvP. But in PvE, I mean, it's good on Syax, right? It's good for killing Syax on Fractal 99. But maybe also some other applications for it as well. But
no, because for example, you have some specs that are relevant in all game modes, which invalidates your claim. Like a Druid was great in PvP. Druid was greater in PvE. You have Tempest, which was meta in PvP and meta in PvE, albeit with different builds, but the class itself was good in both. And then you have everything Necromancer, which is just not shining as bright in PvE. So, I mean, you have a point, but it doesn't invalidate the claim that you just end up having classes and specs on top of these classes, because you can't always move out from the origins of the class, what was designed at the origin.
That's definitely true.
From this. So you do end up being pigeonholed into a game mode if you go truly that way.
I'm not social. That's true. I think you can design away from it. I mean, you see kind of Tempest. They tried to kind of wriggle Tempest away from PvE painfully, but it didn't really work. But you can kind of see what they were going for there. And I don't know, man. I mean, doesn't that kind of just say that Druid and Tempest were way too fucking good? If they're amazing in every game mode, and you talk about shining bright, but the shiniest star of them all was Necro in PvE, man. PvP, sorry. That's just repulsive. Yeah, no, in PvE, no. That was the shiniest star of all. And like, you press F1, everyone on the points got AIDS. Job done. You know, like that was juicy. Like, all that stuff. And with Druid, I mean, yeah, Druid was pretty. It's a pretty good elite spec, guys. It's pretty fucking.
Yeah, like it's still relevant. Yeah. Just like Chronomancer.
Yeah.
Still relevant.
It's pretty repulsive.
I mean, relevant, necessary. Like, you don't skip out on them.
Yeah, I think, yeah, at the end of the day, this is kind of a bit of a problem with staff, right, on LE. Like, Meteor Shower's pretty good, guys. It's pretty good. Yeah, that's going to buff Axe again by 5%.
It's got the numbers.
Yeah. Druid is too good everywhere. Well, I mean, it's not that good in World vs. World, so, I mean, you know.
Well, that's, of course it's good in World vs. World. You're just going to believe in it a bit. I mean, you're just not trying hard enough.
I mean, like, Druid is I don't know, like, yeah.
It's our Lord and Savior. You gotta believe it.
I like to call it, like, extremely bad Firebrand is what Ranger is in World vs. World. Good for roaming, though. Good for roaming. It's really obnoxious to roam on, so I mean you can do that. But World vs. World is a really bad example because it's got game modes within game modes in World vs. World, so it just gets even more confusing, right? Is that you got the blobbing, you got the roaming, small scale stuff where Druid really shines actually. Stuff like Druid and Soul Beast is great in that stuff, right? It's really good. Then you have GVG. Well, that's not an official game mode, guys. Then you have GVG where it actually Druid used to be good. Because you could, it'd be very good for burst healing and rezzing people as well, right? But I think it's not. I think it still might be a thing, but maybe less so now because of how amazing Firebrand is. I actually don't know right now, so it's difficult to say.
I wouldn't know why.
Yeah, I'm scared to get into the subject of World vs. World entirely at this point. Yeah.
Are you scared of the
I don't know anything.
The comment section.
I'm scared of the comment section. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I think the way I would definitely have it is that you would design the elite specs around making things happen in specific game modes if it's necessary, right? Not if it's not needed. If it's not needed, then great, you can kind of go crazy, which is kind of, I don't know what they did with Deadeye. They kind of made a meme spec or something, but I don't know. But no, I think it is good that they very specifically do try and carve out specific roles for classes with these elite specs. I think that is the direction they kind of want to go in. I think it can produce good results as well. I think it can do good results. I mean, yeah, with the very strong classes, it doesn't quite work. But you know, hey, I think it's a good philosophy to try and do that stuff. But yeah, I would definitely say, yeah. And Times again is right. Wait, wow, I got fucking disconnected. What the fuck? Wow.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Necro, like pretty much all the classes are playable in every game mode, right? So it's not that bad.
Of course.
It's not that bad. Yeah. People are saying no matter how much effort you put in, you won't even reach the scale of the other DPS. That's not actually that true, though. It's not that true. It's not that far behind the other DPS classes. I mean, Necro benchmarks at about 31k. You can probably get it higher than that if you played really well or something like that. And after the buffs, it's probably going to be pretty much on par with most other specs, guys. It's nowhere near as bad as people think it is. Or it's like 33k. I can't remember exactly. It's something around that. But it's not that horrible. It's not even horrible. It's not even horrible at all. And that's what people are misinterpreting here. I mean, they look, wow, Necro does 33k or 31k, whatever it does, DPS. Weaver does 47k DPS. Looks like Necro's trash, boys. But that's not.
Yeah, but that's literally what QT is trying to avoid by saying don't be a class Nazi, everything is viable. I don't think people read that far into the posts, to be fair.
We are not doing the viability discussion today, guys. It's just like every tea time, man. We're not doing that.
Nope.
Yeah, but I'm not in every tea time. Like, come on, I gotta have my days on it.
You need to get some of that juicy viability discussion, but no,
yeah, man. Blech. I'm always missing out. Oh, come on, don't belch.
Oh. Well, okay. I mean, maybe we could talk about it a little bit. But I don't know. I think the goal is to have. Wait, what the hell's going on? Sounds
Yeah,
about to
where's
be-
that coming
He's
from?
about to get run over.
That's from
People
outside.
got
Yeah.
very
No,
angry.
no. That's probably someone trying to steal a car.
Oh my god,
Oh, that's
that's not good.
something.
I don't care. I don't have a car.
Yeah.
Wait, Sam, we got the same headphones. I just realized.
Oh, whoa,
Yours is
nice.
all
I mean, do you have the
smaller than mine,
wireless?
but-
Yeah, you have
yeah.
the wireless one. Yeah, I have
Wireless?
the wired one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I prefer it.
Gotta go wireless, man.
Yeah.
No, dude, I hate wireless.
fuck
So
wireless,
I genuinely
dude.
do.
I can't live without wireless anymore.
What? Dude.
Yeah,
What?
it's too good. It's too
Wireless is
good. I literally forget that they're on my head, and I just like walk out. It's great.
Yeah.
I can do that with a regular headset, like my regular one for
Yeah,
doing
but-
outside is wireless, but
Get
like
kicked
inside my place, I like having all the cables on my desk.
boneless headphones.
Yeah, those headphones are boneless, man.
Boneless.
They got no bones in them.
That's you again. Come on.
Wait, spoiler.
Is it-
Necro
is it-
is more viable by doing 30k DPS than Pug Weavers who do 10k DPS, but think they do 40k DPS because QT says so. And yeah, that's pretty much it, right? If you play well, I mean, Necro is fine. I mean, but the viability discussion is just ridiculous because most players suck at the game. So it literally doesn't matter what they play, and in fact, they should probably play something like really brain dead and easy, because that means they'll actually do it. Because otherwise, you're just going to have people doing no damage whatsoever, just auto attacking on fire on Weaver. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, and I agree with everyone commenting like, yeah, Necro's fine. I'm always top DPS on my Necro. I mean, yeah, this is basically true. I mean, if you play Necro well and you go in Pugs, yeah, you're probably going to end up top DPS, man. But yeah, anyway, we're getting a little bit sidetracked here. Fuck.
So let me sidetrack the conversation entirely.
Okay.
Definitely so.
Well, or not entirely, but like, so on Tuesday, where we are to expect a balance patch. Do you guys expect anything else?
They wanna
Like, not
they're
necessarily.
announcing the raid.
I don't even want to talk about that.
They are
to be fair.
announcing the raid.
I'm sad.
I mean, if it's right that it's coming out on the 14th, then yeah, they got to do it on. They got to do it that week before.
I have a work seminar. I'm not even going to be there for the patch on Tuesday. So fucking sad.
Wow.
I'm missing out on everything.
Feels bad, man.
I'll be watching all the videos by
What if-
Inks and the others from work, probably. That's how it's going to be.
What if it doesn't happen? What if it's not announced?
What if it's a surprise, you mean, on the week after?
What
Or
if-
what if
what
it
if-
just doesn't come out
Wait.
at all?
What if it doesn't come out on the 14th? What if, say, nothing comes out, or what if something else comes out, like say a reward rework or whatnot for Path of Fire? What
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
do you think people would go fucking ape shit?
Yeah, they
or-
would. They definitely. No, people wouldn't go fucking ape shit. The raiders would. The people who care about having a new wing would.
Yeah,
That's
but
such a fragment of the population.
isn't that kind of because this rumor as it is, like, because it's not confirmed that it's coming on the 14th. It is a rumor. Like, regardless of whatever you think, it might come from valid sources. You may have heard it from someone that you trust, but so far it technically is a rumor. But isn't that just because this rumor has gotten out of hand, just like this Tuesday's balance patch rumor kind of got out of hand? Everyone was expecting it to drop last Tuesday, and then it didn't. And I mean, people were like, "This is unacceptable. This is," but they never said it. They never said that it was coming. People are kind of getting worked up about rumors, and I kind of find it to be a little. I don't know.
I mean, that's what keeps the hype going in a video game.
Don't crush my
Sure,
dreams,
but the
right?
rumors,
Don't do this to
they
me,
shouldn't
man.
be coming from us, is what I'm saying. Like, I completely acknowledge that this is all on ArenaNet side. They should be talking more openly, and not just a week before about when the next raid is coming. They should just be saying, like, yeah, it's coming in, like, X days. I don't know. But I kind of feel like the community is setting itself up for failure when we keep on doing this with every rumor. Every snowball, we just fucking toss it down the mountain and it rolls.
Yep. Well,
I don't know.
then again,
We call that the hype train, man. That's the hype train.
but how would it
Lord.
be better handled? Okay, how would it be better handled?
Any communication.
What if ArenaNet a month before raid updates would come up and say, yo, this is a new raid, we're going to be dropping it in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and this is what we've been working on more or less, this is the general lore that will be tied to it, and you can expect this many encounters. If they come up and say that, and then people are going to be like, oh my god, it's going to be so good, etc., and then on the day of the release, it's literally garbage, but people have been, expecting it for that specific date. People came back to the game for it. People are like hyped as fuck. They made their rosters. They made their static. They're like, we're going to shoot for war first or whatever. I think it would be even worse. Like, it's better to have it pop up, even if it's a little bit anticipated by some specific people in the community, and that they would be disappointed or something, than just the general player base being disappointed because some came back for it from a break they would have taken, and then it's garbage.
But
I'm much more in favor of the halfway path of fire method, where they kind of said, yeah, it's coming out this date, which is kind of close, but a little bit down the line, and then not really give any information. Like, I'm much more in that favor of just giving us dates or saying that something like this is happening there, giving us like specific dates for, like, say the raid is happening in a month, guys, right? Don't tell us what it's called. Don't tell us anything about it. Just say it's happening in a month. I'm much more in favor of that.
Why not just say
But
that?
I mean, if they say
leak a, tease a screenshot, like tease the loading screen or anything. Just,
I mean, it's basically the same. Like, yeah,
just to say something. I mean, look. I mean, the people look at Guild Wars 2 and they go, "All right, I'm going to get into Guild Wars 2. Let's see what's coming down the road." And they're going to go and look on the Reddit, say, "Okay, guys, what's coming up in Guild Wars 2?" And they're going to go, "We have no idea. You know, we have no idea when something's happening. Like, no one knows anything, man. There's no communication at all." I mean, like, look, there's like broken shit that's been left like this for months, dude. There's been so many issues with the game, it just doesn't get patched. They take so long to patch it, and you know what the worst thing is? Do you know what the dankest meme of all, guys? Is that within weeks of this balance patch, the players will have found the most busted shit in this balance patch. This is going to be a problem until they do another balance patch, right? And you're stuck with it for 2 months, at least, you know? Before they eventually fix all the broken shit again. Oh my goodness, dude. Like,
I mean, can I point out something in regards to the point about broken stuff? Because I'm all there with you that it's not amazing to have broken stuff, but does it really actually break anything? I mean, yeah, it may like change players' perception of classes. It may switch other people over to other classes. It may make encounters trivialized, but there's no competitive mode that actually has any real effect in this game. I mean, PvP is arguably the most valued on that point, but everything else, if stuff's broken in PvE, does it actually break something, or does it just make the encounters a little bit different for a while? I'm just being the devil's advocate here. I'm not saying that it's necessarily a good thing, but I'm just saying, is it really that bad that it's broken for a little while?
In PvE, it definitely doesn't matter. I actually agree with that. I agree that in PvE, it matters less. It matters less than the other game modes, because you, instead of screwing over other players with cancerous, unfun mechanics, you're screwing over inanimate objects, NPCs. So like the NPC doesn't matter. The NPC doesn't mind getting epi'd 10 times in a row. It's like, well, you know, whatever, shit happens, right? But you know, like a player that gets caught in a spellbreaker bubble and instantly dies, or gets 50 burning stacks instantly thanks to Scourge. That's really annoying. That's really annoying for people. On something PvP, like fighting these obnoxious classes, right? That's really annoying. And it's just takes a while.
I mean, I completely agree that, especially on like the PvP front, the world versus world front, outliers should be fixed like ASAP. It really should. But PvE, the huge outliers there aren't necessarily always the same things as in PvP and world versus world. And so I even though I'm a PvE player and I genuinely prefer that game mode, there's no level of competition. It doesn't technically break anything. It just changes the encounter for us.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with that philosophy. I do think
there is competition sometimes. Right tournament, Teapot.
Yeah, but that's not ongoing. Hey.
I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see about that, but we have to gather some people to see if we can get something going for that. But I mean, it's still not really. I mean, yeah, ArenaNet not really big on the whole competition thing, really. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think one of the good arguments here is like Celix says if they delete Renegade, let's say, what should Rev mains do for 4 months? They should still be encouraged to play Renegade. I'd still say that's kind of the whole viability discussion here that we're not going to go into, but you can go into previous TeaTimes or whatnot and talk about. Like, it's not necessarily entirely deleted. It's still there. And even so, like a lot of the armor is still heavy armor, and you can just swap it to your warrior.
What about then? Like, well, I mean, if we can take a blast from the past, here, guys. What about when they just deleted Revenant from the game when they did the Signet Min spread? They didn't even do it on purpose, man. They didn't even do it on purpose. When they literally deleted Revenant from the game, when you could just play Power Rev and just do nothing, and then you're just basically a piece of shit that's totally useless. And that was horrible if you like to play Rev, right? It was just terrible. And there was also the time with Guardian.
I completely agree.
And Thief. Now, like, if you're a Thief and you want to play PvE, like, what do? And you can play you can make Conny Thief on Ken and MO, right? But
I mean, that's good, you know? I get more characters to put at the parking spot and get money from. Like, you know, it doesn't matter that much. Like, who cares?
I mean, the biggest argument that I see always, and I can totally get behind this. Like, most of what I said just before was more of a devil's advocate kind of scenario. But the biggest argument that I can see here is that, yes, players really like to play specific professions. It's not necessarily that it's their main or whatnot. It's just that certain play styles feel much better to some players than others, and I completely agree. I can get fully behind that. Like, it doesn't feel awesome. It's a shitty feeling when there's huge outliers and it feels deleted. But my only argument really with the previous statement was that it still doesn't break anything other than player morale, I guess.
Yeah.
And so the outliers, like in that regard, doesn't necessarily deserve, and I'll say this in quotation marks, and I don't necessarily back this up entirely, but they don't really deserve the same kind of attention as the competitive modes do in terms of balance.
Right. That's
like
completely
huge,
right.
Fast balance. That's
completely right. Unless there was something that would like completely destroy the balance of the game, like we saw at one point, the Guardian symbols being broken, like that kind of stuff gets insta-fixed. Like the day after or 3 days after.
And you know what else gets fixed? Necro being top DPS.
Instantly. I mean, we can't have that voice. No way.
They got that one quick, didn't they? Instantly patched that one. Sorry, Sam. Continue. Please do continue.
No. I was done with it. You completely destroyed me. Like, I was getting started. I had the energy pent up from listening to you two, and boom, hit with a cold hard truth. I'm done. I'm fine. It's all good. It's all good, Teapot.
I don't know where I was going.
No hard feelings. It's all right.
I don't know, man.
Nah, kidding. But Nike's completely right, however, on what he wrote in your chat a few seconds ago. Player moral is dollars, and like dollars is what ArenaNet should care about, and that's actually true. But then again, how do you make it so that everyone who is playing their own classes in whatever way they intend, in whatever game mode, is happy? How do you make everyone happy? You can't.
Yeah, you can. Elite specs, man. Look what they've done. Look what they've tried to do. Rev was a bit kind of bleh in PvE. Boom. Renegade. Now that's a great class. Big dick DPS, guys. Okay? Let's see. They kind of actually tried to make Soul Beast a thing in World vs. World with the stance share. I think extremely likely to see we're going to get massive buffs to Soul Beast in World vs. World, particularly with stance share. That's probably going to happen. Make it more of a support class. Make it maybe have a spot in a World vs. World Zerg. We have, let's see, what else do we have? Well, yeah, I mean, Spellbreaker. I mean, they put Spellbreaker to make Warrior, bring Warrior back in PvP in particular, right? Because it was kind of it died a bit of a death, right, towards the end of Heart of Thorns.
Not so much. It was still relevant.
A little bit. You know, it was on a downward trend with the actual 10-year cast time on head button the F1, right? So
yeah, okay, yeah.
It was dying a bit of death. Boom, brought it back. Spellbreaker's back. Also, they incidentally made it really, really good in World vs. World, even though it was actually already really good. But yeah. Never mind. Let's see, what other things we got? We got Firebrand going crazy. That's now, they finally gave it the legit support spec. People have been complaining about that for ages, right? I mean, it was already a thing. Bunker Guard was definitely a thing before. But and obviously in World vs. World, but then they brought Firebrand, and suddenly, boom, you got a healer that's even better than Tempest, right? Suddenly Tempest gets dethroned mercilessly by Firebrand, actually. So that's now a crazy aspect that you can play as a support in PvP. So they try and even this stuff out in all the game modes, right? And I'm not sure, they probably wanted to do something similar with Deadeye. Not really sure, didn't really work. They wanted to make it like a buffer, like a thief buffer, I think. But it's not really there. It stacks might. It does 25 might on 10 people, which is such a kind of interesting gimmick. See if people can play around with that maybe in the future. Who knows? But I don't know. That's the way they do this. That is the way they do this, by making everyone happy. The dream of Elite Specializations is that you will eventually have at least one spec in every game mode for every class. And that is, I think,
which would be great.
I think we're actually surprisingly close to that, right? Are we not surprisingly close to that?
I think we're getting there.
Are we not nearly? Are we at that point? Let's see. What is a class that doesn't get play in every game mode? I guess. Wait, I can't even really think of one. I think all the classes are more or less definitely very playable in all the game modes, at least. And that's
they're at least represented. Yeah.
I mean, World versus World again is a bit tricky because of the different game modes within the game modes. But you know, even. Scrapper? Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, NG. Because NG, you play Holosmith, man. You play Holosmith in PvP.
Yeah,
Holosmith's good in PvP.
I'm fighting quite a bit of Holosmith in World vs. World as well.
Scrapper was good in PvP as well. Like,
Scrapper was a big thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Rev is good in PvE, World vs. World. PvP, it has fallen off a bit, in fairness, actually. It has fallen off in PvP. But that's mostly because of, like, well, you know, it doesn't quite fit right, but you can still play it. Like Power Herald is still a thing, right? It's still, they even buffed it a little bit.
Herald was, I mean, wasn't there wait, who was it? Frostball who did the challenge?
Yeah, like, you got to Legends.
Yeah, Power Herald from nothing
to
on a fresh account. Yeah, no, that doesn't.
That was the initial time with crafting the Ascension for me was just Power Herald. It was the best time ever. Yeah. I love that.
I don't think I could. Oh, Mirage. Mirage is good in PvE. Definitely solid, very solid in PvE. In PvP, it does see play as well. It also is good. It's like very, very bursty and AIDSy. And it's still got portal utility, so I think that's still a thing. Is it as good as Chrono? Maybe not. But then again, you have Chrono anyway, right? So
I've been actually looking into the differences because I really wanted to play Mirage in PvP scenarios, but it just turns out that in every way, shape, or form, you're just much better off taking Chronomancer for the elite spec. And that kind of really weirded me out since the Mirage was supposed, or at least to me, it felt like they were kind of building it towards being this clone Phantasm Shatter Mesmer kind of deal. And it isn't, which was kind of weird to me. Mirage is fun, don't get me wrong. It's great fun to play. But it wasn't exactly what I was expecting to see in PvP and World vs. World scenarios.
Oh.
I mean...
I would say that World vs. World is the place where it does fall off, except for roaming. For roaming, Condi Mesmer has always been a disease. I'm just going to say it, guys, a disease in World vs. World roaming. It's repulsive. And it's even more so now with Mirage, right? So you have that. But again, it doesn't really see play in Zerg fights, but then again, guess what? See, our buddy, the Elite Spec System's here for you, because you know what does see play in World vs. World Zerg fights? Chrono, okay? Boom, because you got those portals, you got Veils, you got Time Warp, you got Gravity Well. You have this utility, so you actually see play with the Mesmer in World vs. World as well. So again, here we go, guys. Like, you can see kind of everything. Everything kind of gets played, man. Everything gets played in every game with at least one build possibility, and that's what we're looking for. And just to let's talk about Scourge. Right, yeah, I see a lot of hate for Necro Scourge DPS PV. Is it good? Okay, bad. I would say it's good. Even I would say it's good. You only need 2 to 3 chronos. I mean, that's true, but I mean, it's better than 0. Yeah. Chrono names base Mesmer utilities. Well, it's because Chrono just allows you to do them twice, Nicky. I mean, that's why you play Chrono.
It's smart that
way. That's why it's good. I mean, yeah. And also Gravity Well as well. And Shield 5. And Quickness. So, yeah. That's why you do that.
All that goodness.
Yeah, all that goodness. Also is a bit of a healer as well, but that's kind of an aside point, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. What else have we got in? What else have we got in, man? Yeah. Do we have
we've gone over it.
Yeah, I think that's it, man. Do we have any other commentary with regards to that? I mean, we're going on we're on the right path. Hopefully, the balance patch addresses it. The only problem with the way this is going to go is that we need more balance, man. We need more frequent balance. So something we could talk about is like, how is it possible that we can balance the game more frequently? That's the question I'd have to ask it. Like, how can we do this?
You gotta spike those gem prices more often. Throw in some more mountain skins, and they can pay another team to actually do balance as well.
Because they've said that they don't want to change the balance mid-season, right? So that means surely they can only balance at the end of every season.
So that's every month and a half.
Yes.
Still.
So
that would be fine. Like that,
is that good enough?
That cycle of balance would be all right, and they can balance based on pick rates, at least for PvP.
Yeah.
And they probably have the same stats for raids. I mean, Radar has them now, so they can just take a look there, and they can see pick rates as well for PvE. So if they want something to be more relevant, they can just fix it based on that information. The problem is that most of the time it feels like they're making the changes without first looking at what needs a change, like a drastic one. And sometimes you get some changes or hot fixes or whatever you want to call them on classes, and you're like, why did that even get changed? Like, why did they tweak a trait when nobody was using that trait anyways, when it wasn't used in any build that was relevant, and that it's not getting more relevant with the change afterwards? Like, when we got the lesser signets, for example, on Ranger, it's not like you would ever have any use for something like this, unless, for PvP. No, so whatever. Some traits do get picked in different game modes. But as far as balance goes, what would you change and what would you base it on so that you would have enough matter every 6 weeks to change a lot of stuff? Because otherwise we'll just tweak 1 or 2 classes around, hotfix something, and call it balance. Yeah. How do you get enough matter to make a full balance and swap?
Well, I don't think
we would call the meta wrong.
I don't think it's so much that we need big balance changes. I think it's more that it needs constant adjustment, don't you think?
It's much more the finer details that need to be touched on.
I completely agree. We don't need massive sweeping balance changes every 2 weeks or something, but I think we need to see some kind of minor tweaks as things go through. They're able to adjust that a little bit quicker, like change a few like seconds on the values or something, or reduce a cooldown or increase a cooldown or something like that to adjust stuff. Or maybe, I don't know, make a trait cleanse an extra Condi. So, for example, like Herald, right, in PvP, really fucking hates Condis. It's like maybe in PvP, you add a little bit to their cleanse capabilities so they can deal with that a little bit better. Maybe you reduce the cooldowns on some of their cleanse abilities so they can deal with that a bit better, or something like that. You do that, you do little tweaks like this and see what happens when you adjust that. And then you can change it back if it's shitty. That's why you need the ability to do it quickly. And again, it's very easy for us to criticize ArenaNet. We don't know how difficult this is, and I actually suspect it's probably extremely difficult, very annoying to do it, right? For ArenaNet to do this, probably they may not even have the infrastructure in place. Nice aids, but I think something like that would really allow them to fine tune their gameplay and the balance on the fly, right? And see if we can get that a bit better. So you have the big balance patches, maybe like at the end of every season, but then you can kind of play with stuff a little bit and see how it goes around as that continues.
I'd much rather see that, just a smaller tweaks.
Yeah.
Then do we get a PTR to test this stuff and tell them whether it's a good idea or not, or do we get hit by it and live with it for 6 weeks?
Well, and again, here's another problem: there is no feature in Guild Wars 2 that facilitates this, right? And it is something that would be really good.
The problem, I don't know how the testing team for Guild Wars 2 works, but I don't know I don't know either what type of feedback they provide. Is their feedback limited to this works and this doesn't? This is broken or this is not? Or can they even say stuff like, we think this is a little bit overtuned, or we think this is a little bit useless and nobody's ever gonna use that? Like, if you were just gonna be hit every 6 weeks by what the devs in the balance team think is good, then we're just gonna have even more uproar because people are gonna be why are you changing stuff so often if you're literally doing shit with it? That's what I'm expecting.
On the topic of like feedback in general, I actually have the impression that the balance team is rather small, and any kind of feedback like that they may consume anywhere. I mean, they can't get every opinion, they can't experience every game mode every time. I'm pretty sure that they're probably already busy working on the next elite spec for the next X pack. I mean, who knows? Like, at least the initial conceptualization of those, the whole balance team should, if we want this to be a real thing, it should be bigger. But I don't genuinely think that ArenaNet actually considers that manpower worthwhile, the money, so to speak. Like, I think they've nailed it down to the cadence of a month and a half in between the seasons or whatnot to kind of probably save money on that front, because it was probably getting too much out of hand when we were getting little small tweaks out here and there, and they apparently couldn't keep track of it.
This is why I think it should just be outsourced, basically. And what do I mean by outsource? I mean, hey, you want to balance PvE? Let's talk to QT and Snowcrows, you know? Let's talk to those guys. Talk, you know, all the top guilds. I know I've omitted a whole bunch of them, you know, flame me in the comments, whatever, okay? Whatever, okay? What the fuck?
No, let me tweet this to Roka.
Yeah, he's lucky noobs garbage, man. Like, it's in the name, noobs. Fucking trash, okay? Yeah. Okay.
Someone clip this and send it to Roka, please.
Right.
Just the 2 seconds where he actually says that.
Right. How dare you not consult EG? Well, you know what I mean? I find the top PvE guilds. Talk to them.
Okay, right? EG, organizing a way for them to make use of the information.
The people are there, man. Like, look at the spreadsheet warriors, man. Talk to the spreadsheet warriors, okay? Talk to the people who've done the math on all this stuff. Talk to QT and all the top. I'm not gonna say names. All the top PvE guilds, guys, to get that consultation, get that balanced conversation. You want to talk PvP? Let's talk to Sin. You know, let's talk to Sin. Like, you know, get that top 10 on the leaderboard. Talk to those guys. One in each class. What's going on? What's going on with the? Talk to the people in the top 25 even, you know what I mean? You want to talk world versus world? Man, there are so many people who would love to tell you their opinion on world versus world. There are plenty of people, and like in world versus world, you know, there's a they're very opinionated, strong people. Like Guild Wars 2 Balance Team, your minions, your people who will work for free are right there, man. They'll tell you how to balance your game literally for no money. Just talk to the best players, and they'll tell you how to do it, man. You don't even do it yourself.
I'm not sure they would do it for free in the long term. If it meant a huge time investment on their end, I'm not sure they would do it for long. They're just throwing this one out.
I mean, they're doing it anyways.
They do it anyway. Everyone can balance wines. I mean, who doesn't do that?
No, they can complain about the state of it. They can do a review of balance change, but I'm not sure they would continuously work with the team to improve the balance. At some point, they would get tired. I'm just saying it like this, and maybe they have like some kind of mental fortitude that I do not expect, but I'm pretty sure they would get tired of constantly trying to help a team into fixing the balance.
Also, another factor that I may as well throw into the mix here. It doesn't seem to me like ArenaNet has the best experience with outsourcing anything. Take testing, for example, and like leaks in general and shit like that. I mean, there's some open wounds there still that I don't really think that the lead of any of the teams are gonna get the go for. Yeah,
exactly, and that's the problem, right? That's
the fault of the community. I'll be completely honest there.
Yeah,
that's why.
You don't foresee that really happening, right? Because of stuff like this. But I don't know. I think it would be a good solution. You know, let the players help. I don't. And people talking about player bias. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think if the top end PvE guilds at least are particularly biased, and I mean the numbers speak for themselves, right, to a certain extent. And there'll be, at least for PvE, I think there'll be plenty of people who really know what they're doing with MATLAB and spreadsheets. They could probably figure out decent ways to tweak stuff that would make it work out, and they know how all the they know everything about the game. They're in the Matrix. They're jacked in, man. They know everything, okay, about PvE and how every ability works in the game. They know it all. The issue would be leaks. I mean, and yeah, like as Deroir says, that is a problem. But I mean, at least they'd be able to balance the game better.
Make everything public. Wow.
I honestly think this is really funny to say this, but I think the most controversial balance would be probably in World versus. I think PvP again. I think the players are pretty much united and can actually be quite objective with regards to what is busted in PvP, right? I think maybe I'm not really in on the PvP scene as much, right? But I actually think that they're all very reasonable individuals, and they're not going crazy just saying, every class except mine is broken. I mean, no one says that, right? You don't see us. You watch the PvP streams, you don't see that, right? You don't see that shit. I mean, you have people complaining about obnoxious shit, but then again, every class has some pretty obnoxious shit in that game in this game. So
you can go obnoxious on each class.
Yeah, it's not too bad. You mean like when people were saying Scourge was dead on arrival? Yeah, but there's a really massive difference between like the Reddit monkeys and people who actually play the game correctly. I mean, I didn't see like a massive QT post on their site saying like Scourge is shit. I mean, quite the opposite actually. Like the forums and Reddit have some interesting opinions and sometimes. So I mean, I don't think they'd be getting them from there. If they balance the game based on what they saw on Reddit and the forums, then God help us all. We'd be in
a shit show. Oh my god.
Yeah, but I think they could get some good work done by talking to the community. I think they'd be willing to help, and maybe not everyone's willing to do it for free. But the thing is, it's an easy market for ArenaNet, because if someone doesn't want to help out, give it a little bit of their time, then someone else will rock up and do it, man. I think I think it wouldn't be too much of a problem. I mean, maybe at the end of the day, they might have to actually consider, kind of compensating people, right? But I don't think it would actually get to that point. I actually think people love this game and have the passion for the game that they would I think they would want to do it. Even they would really want to help, and they'd be really excited to help make the game into a better entity than it already is, right? So I don't know. That's my 2 cents, man. That's my 2 cents on that.
I mean, you probably have a really good point there, but I think the biggest point of debate there on ArenaNet's behalf is still going to be the leaks. I mean, that's literally it. I think that's where the biggest issues have been for the company in general with like outsourcing anything. We all knew where we were going for Path of Fire, like before the season was even halfway through. I mean, and
also there is also the fact like people are talking about PGRs and public testing in general. Even beyond leaks by a specifically outsourced team, there's also the fact that if you have, like for example, if you look at the 3 different game modes balance-wise, PvP has no economical impact. PvE and War vs. World, well, War vs. World to a lesser extent, has an economical impact. So if people are on the public server, then you're going to have a handful of them, let's say QT or Snow Cruiser Land, whatever, are going to be testing some builds. They're going to be like, okay, this is what we deem that the next meta will be in X weeks, and we're going to be buying that shit. And people will contact them and ask what to buy. And then you're going to have even higher, not even insider training, but like, God, I have the word only in French. I'm unable to have the word in English, but like, people knowingly buying stuff because they expect it to come up. I mean, they know it's gonna come up. Like just doing doing the trading but hidden. And
I feel like
I don't think ArenaNet would ever go that way. I don't think ArenaNet would ever go the public way.
I mean, yeah.
Due to that.
The public way, I think, is probably not going to happen.
There's another point. There's another point exactly with like leaks about balance patch and the whole insider trading and whatnot aspect. But there's also the whole level of expectation from the community. If somebody is to leak something, to say like offhanded slap a comment down about Weaver DPS. And then the whole community just goes awry for no particular reason, just because they felt like they wanted to say something or whatnot. I mean, it's the smaller things that can rile up the community at this point, and I don't think that ArenaNet wants any chance of like stuff getting out at this point. It's yeah.
Well, I think it's time for a firm hand then, man. I just think it's ArenaNet, okay? ArenaNet, it's time to get some fucking big balls. Let's go. Sort them the fuck out. At the end of the day, if you're changing something with the authority of the ultimate elitists in the game, then I'm sorry, man. Like I honestly don't think they should really give a shit about the plebeian opinion of some guy who's trying to farm Reddit karma, man. It's just not like why should they care about that? And I don't think that the leaking a balance patch could really demolish the economy, right? I mean, how bad can it be? I mean, it can't be that bad.
I'll point you back to the whole power Bondi switch. The people that were in the know, they banked hard on that. I mean, it's very easy.
Yeah.
Especially
even
when
if you weren't in the
swipes.
know.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I know. Like, it's the price you pay, man. It's the price you pay.
Yeah, but is the entire community willing to pay that on just to have that?
No.
I mean,
because if you have regular,
I don't know,
balance patches, and then you have a few people who theory craft the future and then make money on it, and their friends make money on it, and the prices will blow up the moment the patch arrives, then what are you going to have? You're going to have the majority of the population that's going to be extremely pissed on an even more regular basis that people are making shit expensive for them. So no, that's not the goal. Like the whole start of the conversation, remember guys, was how do we get the player morale to stay high? By having regular balance patches, by having people feel relevant with their mains in every game mode, with the different elite space and everything. That's how we were piecing it out together, and at what point this came up. But if we get to the point where people just find it expensive to stay relevant, and it's too much effort, too much farming, too much grinding, too much whatever, then you lose out on the first goal, which is to keep them playing the game. They're just going to say, okay, I quit.
Well, okay. In that case, maybe you just have to be even more transparent with it. So before you even make a balance patch, while you're discussing this with various sources, maybe ArenaNet puts out posts saying like, this is what we've got on the table, right? This is what's on the table for the balance patch. We're looking at adjusting. So suppose like a few weeks before you even do the balance patch, or even months, right? Like while this is in the works, like while this is in the season, or they give you updates. You see little cheeky balance updates, maybe once every few weeks, where they say we're looking at reducing the PvE damage of the Weaver and buffing up Scourge a bit. We're looking about adjusting the condition removal of Herald in PvP. We're looking at increasing the support aspect, the group support aspect of Soul Beast and World Versus World, like maybe some stuff like that. Because that means you could kind of put a damper on it. Because if people know what's on the table, then maybe that's a bit harder to market manipulate around, right? Mm-hmm. If they were just very transparent with it. I mean, I guess that would be a very
if they're transparent about overhaul, their right? Yeah, but if they are transparent about their idea, the moment we get a public test server, or the moment we get the experienced people of the community to test off, some others are going to be in the know. A handful of people will have exactly the knowledge of what will be, because these people make the meta. The PvP streamers who are gonna play a build and then they win every game and then they put it on meta battle, they have traction. QT when they put out the benchmarks and the class ranking, they have traction. And if you just have these ones testing, or if you have anyone testing, you're gonna have that issue of manipulation, because they always tell their friends what they think is going to be meta before the post on Reddit is made. Come on.
Well, in that case, I don't see a problem with that, though, actually.
You don't? You're fine with that?
No, because I think that's exactly what's happening now. I mean, the reason why a bunch of stuff goes up is because QT posts about it and people play it. And it wouldn't get nearly as much attention if they didn't. That already happens to a certain extent, right?
Yeah,
surely.
I gotta agree with TeaTime here.
Yeah, I mean,
fair.
Yeah, I mean, suppose that QT deliberately omitted a build, then the price wouldn't go up as much.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could definitely argue that they would have more power to do this to a greater extent, but I mean, come on, let's give QT give these guilds a little bit of credit. Like, I don't think they're nefarious at all. I think they actually do their best to help the community with all the resources they have.
I think the issue isn't necessarily whether they are nefarious or not. It's whether the ArenaNet's perception of them is to have is that they may have a furthered investment into the game personally, and I think that's where the point of contention begins, because we've seen previously there was at one point where somebody accused internal testing of actually leaking some of the stuff, and one of the heads of that department actually came out and just openly said, there is no one in my department that I can vouch for all of these people. There's no one here who has done anything nefarious. And I think it's that level of trust that ArenaNet is seeking so much, to the point where they are so unwilling to actually incorporate anyone who may have a bigger personal investment into the game as an outsider. I think that's why they don't want to outsource anything. No, they want full confidence in their employees.
But is it confidence or is it blind trust?
Well, we don't know, because we have no.
That's the issue. That's the true issue. I mean, that's where the issue is for me, at least.
I totally get that perspective. I really do. But the thing is, I think that I think that's unfortunately a perspective that doesn't work when you have. I just don't think that works, man. I just don't think. I'm gonna. This is gonna sound really toxic.
You have to elaborate.
Yeah, I have to elaborate, and this. I'm just thinking about how to phrase this, because this is gonna be mildly toxic here. But I'm sorry, guys, but the ArenaNet devs are not as good as the game as the players are. It's just they even admit this. They're not as good at the game. The balance team do not know the game as well as the top players in any game mode, and this is because they are busy and they can't play the game and go crazy as much as the players. They're the best in every game mode. So
that's true.
With regards to especially balance, I just don't think that they have the time, I don't think the devs have the time to play to the highest level that is necessary, but then also think about how to balance the game as well. These are busy guys, they can't play the game. I
agree.
And they're just trust me, guys. I mean, yeah, true for every game. Exactly right. And the thing is, though, and Arena even admits this. I mean, they even said this. I actually more or less heard this from. You were there with me, Deroir, at Gamescom. We talked to Mike Z. He more or less said this, right? That the
players will always find a way to play better.
They always find out that the players will find out to break everything. And then they just kind of look at what the players do and then try and balance it from there. But that is why you need to use the players and get some advice, man. Yeah, and balance accordingly to that. But then the thing is, though, it's so much easier to balance if you just ask people who are really good how they would tweak it. Like people, they've got the spreadsheets, man. They've got those spreadsheets set up. It's not that I don't think the devs don't know what they're doing. I think they actually, on the whole, they work towards better balance changes. But I think that if you use the resources that the community has, you could do it better and also more efficiently as well. Because the people invest a huge amount of time and thought into this game. They're constantly theory crafting. People love theory crafting on how to do this a little bit better. How can we do this boss better? Like, how can we abuse this mechanic? What about this new raid comp? And you see stuff emerging with stuff that wasn't even exactly intentional.
I think we all kind of get your point here, and I don't think anyone, probably not even a lot of the ArenaNet devs, are against the idea. I think that just their internal
the management.
Yeah, the management says no. It ain't happening, guys.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to find out that the balance team would really love to have this
input
resource.
Yeah.
But they're not allowed. And I think that's just a higher up decision, and I don't think that that's going to get changed just because we lobby for it.
I have to actually say that I suspect you might be right, that is kind of the word on the grapevine, right? That's what people tend to think about how it is regarding the management of Arena. They're kind of told, don't listen, don't go near those players, man. They're dangerous, they're dirty.
Yeah,
That sounds very correct.
They're dirty.
Yeah, they're 10 healing tempests, man. Yeah, that's why you need to test it with salt, man. The salt test is, can you do a boss with 10 healing tempests? If yes, then the boss is too easy. The enrage is too easy. Yeah. Salt's mindset is good for raid testing because they'll just intentionally try and break stuff. It'll be great. How about
The only thing they're gonna break is their minds. You know.
How about let some players test new raids, let them stream for like 2 hours every X weeks of it to create hype and support the Guild 2 content areas that stream?
Nah.
No. But idea, because then you will destroy the hype the moment they get farm, so to speak. The moment these players testing get the raid on farm and actually stream for 2 hours, but they've cleared it in half an hour and then they just redo it with another comp or whatever. The moment they get to that point, then what? It's on. It's not fun anymore. Everyone's gonna copy what they've seen on the screen, and day one you're gonna have everyone clearing it.
Yeah, and that's fine. I think that's actually fine.
No,
but no, because that's kind of how it works in WoW, right? But the reason it's okay in WoW is because you have Mythic, which is basically the same thing all over again. And so you do everything perfect. There's also extra mechanics, like things different on the fights. Okay, so that can work. That model can work. And that could potentially work if there was a legitimate hard mode, like challenge modes, right? If there was a legitimate hard mode, then yes, you could actually do something like that, I think. But will Guild Wars 2 do it? No, I very much doubt it, right? So, yeah. WoW raids are harder, gear checks and mythics. Yeah, I mean, the gear check thing is basically just an artificial difficulty, right? I mean, when people are doing worlds first in WoW, they basically have gear that isn't really good enough, you know? That's the whole point. That's why Mythic, one of the reasons why Mythic is so hard, because you have to do insane DP, you have to be really fucking good at playing WoW. But yeah, I mean, you know, there's also like a shit ton of stuff in the fight. Like WoW fights have just a zillion mechanics. But anyway, that's besides the point. Anyway.
But after you get the gear, they all become farm super easily, as far as I understand.
Yeah,
right?
It once you kind of get over it, it makes it, you know, a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Once you get over the gear mound, things get a little bit easier. But a big part of it is the gear being under gear makes everything really.
And we really don't want that in Guild Wars. I'll just put that out. We don't want that gear grind.
Nope.
Please no.
I mean, that's one stuff. Like, there are so many people saying Guild Wars 2 is a game for casuals, but at least that's part of the things that I would definitely gladly say I'm casual for. I don't want to have to grind for my gear for ages between each patch or for each raid release. Like, a new set of runes is fine. Start swapping an armor is fine, but having to redo all my characters at each patch would fucking ruin it for me.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you play the 9 classes with their specs. So let's say you play like 18 different builds regularly and having to like redo all the gear for each of them. God.
It'll be fun. It'll be great. You enjoy that?
No, it would just park more of them at the Tomb of the Primeval Kings and only play 2 characters. That's how we would do it.
We don't have gear grind. We have a raid on farm the week they release base. Come on, man. The week they release, surely the day after they release, man. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Deroir.
No, nothing. Never mind.
Fuck. I'm sad now.
Wait, what?
You're cutting it out all the time, Teapot. Yeah.
I'm just deleting people left and right. I've deleted Deroir, deleted Sam.
Have you deleted me?
I deleted you, dude.
Delete.
Yeah. Call me the.
You're a Guild Wars. You're a Guild Wars 2 profession now. Getting deleted. Huh.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man.
All right. I think we've grinded this topic to a halt.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Into a paste.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So ArenaNet, listen up. The players will help you. I think I don't know. The players are definitely willing to help. I think.
Wait, sir?
I'd be amazed. I would be amazed if you couldn't find loads of players who are really good at all the game modes, who'd be willing to help you out with developing this stuff and helping with more frequent balances. So and tweaking stuff. Tweaking stuff to make it a little bit better. But, I don't know. We'll have to see if anything happens on that. But, you know, probably won't. Feels bad, man. Feels bad.
Probably won't.
And yeah, any kind of public testing I think is pretty unlikely. Although it would be cool, though. Yeah. Just one kind of thing for PvP is that they could do... I'm not sure how much use this would see, because I actually think... They actually did something like this in StarCraft, and guess what? Everyone who complained about it, complains about balance, never plays on this. So they have something on they have a separate queue, right, in StarCraft, okay? StarCraft 2.
Wait, dude, if you're gonna go on about StarCraft, I gotta piss real quick. I'll be right back.
Well, no, this is very relevant. Never mind. This is completely relevant to Guild Wars 2.
We've lost him.
So, there is a separate queue where you can play the upcoming balance, basically, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's technically the same as playing on a PTR.
Yes, it's like playing...
It's the game modes on a different server or a different queue for the game modes. Exactly. It's literally the same. That's a PTR.
So, fine, whatever. But what I'm saying is, you could implement this into Guild Wars 2 with a custom arena or something like that is custom scripted so the balance is different on this exact arena. So if you want to test 5v5 balance, you can just hop into this custom arena and all of your abilities will be the upcoming balance. So you can test it out. And maybe you can have people trying it out, see how it works, see how all the classes interact, or something like that. So instead of having a separate queue or a separate server for it, just have a scripted arena.
Okay, but that would be PvP only.
Yes, I would say that.
Then I'm alright with it.
For PvP only, yeah, exactly. And I would also say that it's probably the game mode that requires it the most, even.
Quite so.
So that's why I would prioritize that. 5v5, that's PvP. Yes, it's exactly what I just said, Anderson. That's the whole point. It's PvP, dude. It's a PvP balance test because that is the game mode that it's got the whole season thing going on, man. It's all about the balance.
It's what they are centered around. When they say we balance after the season, when they say something needs to be toned down or fixed or whatever, like that's what they primarily look at. And that's also what a lot of people are very vocal about on the forums more than on Reddit. Like Reddit has a lot of PvE stuff, less PvP, but on the forums a lot of people complain about the PvP balance, which makes it feel more relevant to ArenaNet within the realm where they're supposed to look at feedback. Because also a lot of us complain about feedback, but how many of us actually take it to the forums?
I have posted on the forums exactly once, and that was actually to ask about a bug in the API, and boom, it got fixed. But in fairness, it was actually it was a really well-known bug, but and I even got a reply. It was awesome, man. It was good.
Congratulations.
So bottom line, actually post on the forums. What is this?
Yeah.
What?
I posted
it does make sense, like, I mean, you can tag them through the regular route, or you just complain on Reddit and hope that a dev will see it during their free time. I'm not even sure, like, do devs have, like, Reddit time at work? Like, do they just...
I think they kind of have now.
I think they do.
I'm just going to have a look at Reddit, just, to get the good ideas for the next patch. Like, I mean, I guess they do, yes, sort of, but still the main medium for them to gather feedback is the forums. And I think that a lot of the people who complain on Reddit, very few of them actually take it to the forum.
Probably right.
So, which is probably also why, as I said earlier, the PvP feedback is more relevant to ArenaNet. Because on the forums there is like more PvE compared to Reddit.
I really hope they don't. I mean, we said this before, but I really hope they don't take too much feedback from the forums.
I mean, yeah. Then again,
there's a reason why I don't go on that forum. It's not not the best place.
Should I ban them or just ban the players? Oh god, I saw that one, Nike. Like I saw that poll on the forums, and I was like, wait, there's no like DPS matters are fine option in that poll. And I was like, what? Yeah, what you on about?
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
you're gonna take the other red pill, and the blue pill not here.
It's very important to know that Arc DPS is stealing your credit card information. I just want everyone to know that.
Yeah, that's
Delta
crazy.
is going to he's going to steal your identity and just roll.
Probably.
He's going to take it all, man. He's going to hack you. He's going to hack you good. We need to get Keldorn, man. We need to get Keldorn on TeaTime. Why can't we get that guy? Why would he come on TeaTime? Keldorn is the guy that posts about DPS meters.
Wait, is that the guy that says, "Please don't quote me"?
Wait,
I won't be reading this thread after this.
Oh,
that's the one, yeah.
Is that him?
I'm just reading the pasta that's going on right now.
Oh, no, I don't think it's that. Wait, what do you think? Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Pretty sure that would happen to be him or someone like concentrating his whole point into a sentence, because that's Keldorn, all right. I don't want to name. We're name calling. Fuck it.
Where does he like flaunt his ideas?
I have no idea. Like I've even tried in a video to prove that this was wrong, but I'm not even sure he watched it. So
No,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You exposed him, dude.
where can you
exposed
find
him.
Kildorn? Like, because it
He's-
seems like
he's-
it's common knowledge here, and I have no idea who.
Oh,
it
he's
is.
just a Reddit guy. He just posts on Reddit.
Reddit,
Oh, Reddit. All right.
on the forums mostly, but he posts on Reddit as well. He comments on very
Very
good
concerned with privacy.
benchmarks.
Oh, is that guy who was like, people are spying on me,
Yes.
dude?
Yeah, the privacy guy. Now you know.
Fucking hilarious to read through.
Like, I mean, the whole privacy point is just hilarious because, like, the dude who answered with, I'm drafting this very important EU privacy thing in Brussels, etc. Like, I read that dude and I actually found it hilarious because, and I also wanted to meet him in real life. I asked him too, but he didn't read the message. He sent the draft of the EU law to me, and I actually read through the thing. It says nothing about video games and privacy and data that has been generated server-wide. So, like, anything that these guys have built on is shit. It was actually a good read, though.
All right. I should probably go back to that thread.
Yep. You definitely should.
Sounds like
there is
some goodness.
Plenty of
Does
quality
anyone have a
content.
link? Because that would be sweet.
Someone probably has.
I can probably give you a rundown of the links because at some point they got spammed on my Discord, so I can just like search them up.
Easy.
Probably. Easy peasy.
All
I can
right.
give you a few after this.
I think that might actually do it, guys. We've had a serious conversation. I mean, Sam was actually saying that he didn't want it to be too hardcore, but I think this has been a hardcore tea time, man.
Yeah, it was. It was less chill than I
Yeah,
was
it wasn't
expecting
chill. I mean,
going into.
I actually confess, guys. I told Sam that it would be a chill tea time, but it wasn't a chill tea time at all. It was high energy, guys.
Yep.
High energy as fuck. But yeah, that'll do it, guys. We're gonna run away now. But before we do that, we're obviously gonna tell you, where to find content, guys. If you want content, we can tell you because it's not in Guild Wars 2. Oh no, I'm sorry, Guild Wars 2. That was too far. Okay, that was too far. But anyway, all right. Look at these fine guests. These fine guests. It is Sam. He's pouring his tea. Tell us about where we can find videos of you pouring
That
tea.
kettle just,
Let's go.
like, all in front of the screen.
No, I mean, I have short arms, okay? Like, I need it to be here. Anyways, so you can find my videos on YouTube. You can find me live streaming on Twitch. On YouTube, I mostly do stuff that has to do with Ranger, Druid, Soul Beast, everything related to that class. And I also do economy stuff and sometimes fail compilations, but I've been very lazy for the past month. So, I'm going to get back to it. And on Twitch, I stream raids exclusively.
Okay. Well, there you go. Be sure to check that out. The bot is posting links to various things, I think. But my
it's twitter.com/MMOinks.
Yep. Everyone can also be found at twitter.com/MMOinks, guys.
Everyone.
So, just as you know. But then we also have our other lovely guest in the top left-hand corner. Back to his normal, usual spot. It is Deroir.
Hey, it is I, Deroir. You can find me on YouTube occasionally, but as of late, I'm much more active on Twitch, much more active actually. So yeah. Go come hang out.
Check that out. Follow my boy Deroir, twitch.tv/Deroir, YouTube Deroir Gaming. A little bit different there. Also on Twitter,
Exactly.
Deroir Gaming. I think.
Same.
It's just Deroir.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm almost certain. Yes.
Totally.
But anyway, be sure to check that out. And of course, you can follow me as well if you want. You can do that. The button's right there, guys. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything except the time it takes to move the mouse. You know what I'm saying, guys? And that's really not that expensive at
And
all.
isn't time the only currency we truly have?
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, that means... Wait, no.
pretty deep.
Whoa,
That's
whoa.
pretty damn deep.
Whoa. Mind spike, man. Mind spike. Woo. Anyway, yeah. Follow the stream, guys. Follow me on Twitter. No. Wait, stop linking to just... No. Stop linking to just Inks' Twitter, guys. You gotta follow me on Twitter as well. Guys, we're nearly at 2,000. Just do it. Everyone follow right now. Also subscribe as well. Get the emotes, guys. If you want to be actually good at the game, then you have to subscribe. You'll notice that there are various elitists who are subbed to the stream. Why are they good at the game? Because they're subbed to the stream. Boom. Because they got those emotes. The more emotes they spam, the more Teapot memeists they spam, the better they get and the better their meteor shower RNG is, guys. If you say bless Nemesis, bless Nemesis, bless Nemesis 3 times before you do your Weaver rotation, it actually gives you a 10% damage modifier the entire time. I'm just going to say it, guys. But anyway, that is all for us today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed the show of us having a discussion about some video games that you quite like.
Grown men discussing video games angrily.
Angrily, passionately, man. That's what we do. That's what we do here. Be sure to check out these two fine gentlemen in their internet spaces. Watch all their content. Just open up, load the tabs to everyone who's ever been on TeaTime, so whenever they go live, you'll know, and you can listen to it all at once. But anyway, that is it for us. We'll see you guys around. Thanks for watching, my friends. Let's
have a good one.
Let's go say hi to someone else, I guess.
Toodles.
Right. Thanks, my friends. See you later.